नमस्कार, पैनोरमा लर्निंग चैनल में आपका स्वागत है। चलिए आज स्टार्ट करते हैं हम इंग्लिश का प्रैक्टिस सेट जो फरवरी 2014 का पेपर है। तो पहला ही पैसेज है, स्टार्ट करते हैं पैसेज को पढ़ना, फिर क्वेश्चंस को अटेम्प्ट करेंगे और 121 से 129 यानी 121 टू 129 क्वेश्चंस जो हैं उसका आंसर इसी पैराग्राफ में मिलेगा। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं पढ़ना। गेट वेल सून ओ शांता सेड, हैंडिंग पार्था येलो बलून। She was his third visitor. That's because she was his class teacher's daughter and her mother made her visit him. The other two, Rahul and Syed, weren't really his friend, although they often ganged up with him against other kids to take away their lunch pocket money. Partha knew he would not have long to live. He could feel it deep inside. Seeing his auntie crying after taking with the doctor confirmed it. His time had come. He didn't tell his visitors, though they would either pity him or be happy to get rid of him. Once Shanta left, he ripped a page off from his notebook and wrote, "Dear God, I know I messed up and nobody liked me. Please give me a second chance. I can show you what a good friend I can be." He drew a map showing the way from the school to hospital, walked shakily to the window and let the balloon fly away, carrying his message towards God. The balloon was heading straight to a telephone pole, but a gentle breeze blew it away just in time. It crossed the park and disappeared out of view. The next day, a boy he had never met before came to visit him. "I find balloon," he said. "You are lonely." He just nodded. Two started to talk. "I lonely too. My family come from Afghanistan and I know speak English good." He smiled. "I bring gift to you." He handed him a small bag of fruits. "I pray for friend and God give me friend." Normally he would have fun of his broken English and his long baggy brown kurta, but he knew better. He smiled and offered him the first orange. चलिए ये था पैराग्राफ। नाउ क्वेश्चंस पे आते हैं। पहला है, वन स्टूडेंट रीडर अंडरस्टैंड्स डिड नॉट रियली वांट टू मीट पार्था, दैट इज ऑप्शन है शांता, सैयद, राहुल, अफगान बॉय। तो आप पैराग्राफ पढ़ेंगे तो उसमें से आंसर निकल जाएगा शांता। शांता इसका आंसर होगा। 122 पढ़ते हैं। पार्था felt lonely because fill in the blanks visited him when he was at the hospital. His class teacher, only Syed and Rahul from his class. He had no friends at school, so no one. Shanta. तो ये थर्ड ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट फॉर दिस। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, a synonym for the word startled in the passage is सरप्राइज्ड, स्टन्ड, अवॉइडेड, कंपोज्ड। इसका आंसर होगा स्टन्ड। अगला क्वेश्चन है, एन एंटोनिम फॉर द वर्ड शैकिली इन द पैसेज इज। शैकिली का एंटोनिम पैसेज में क्या है? तो आंसर ऑप्शंस पढ़ते हैं। अनश्योर, अनस्टेडली, फर्मली, रिकेटी। तो आंसर इज फर्मली इज द आंसर। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पढ़ते हैं। पार्था फीलिंग ऑफ लोनलीनेस soon turned to what? Irritation, sympathy, self-pity, anger. So answer is self-pity. Next question is, Partha would not go back to school to meet his schoolmates and teachers because options is his parents wanted to change his school. He did not have long to live. He hated his school as he had no friends. His doctors did not let him. The answer is second. He did not have long to live. Next question is, the message in the passage is first, loneliness is inevitable. About faith in God. All actions have consequences. Friendship is rare. So third answer is correct. All actions have consequences. Next question, the change in Partha's attitude is evident when he The change in Partha attitude is evident when he first option read accepted the fruits from a stranger, although he disliked oranges, refrained from poking fun at the Afghan boy and shared at the fruit, was unmoved even when his aunt was crying, sent a letter to God written on a balloon. Answer is to B. 128. Refrained from poking fun at the Afghan boy and shared the fruit. Next question. A phrase that can replace the word ganged up. Ganged up. What word can be used in place of ganged up? So options A are joined in a position, formed a group, supported together, become friends. The answer is joined in a position. So 129 first. Next, answer the following questions 130 to 144 by selecting the most appropriate options. Now questions I read. 130. While evaluating students' responses for पढ़ने में नहीं आ रहा है. Responses for reading comprehension. Responses for reading comprehension marks may be deducted for. While evaluating students' responses for reading comprehension marks may be deducted for. तो इसमें क्वेश्चन कह रहा है कि अगर रीडिंग कम्प्रीहेंशन पढ़ते टाइम कोई एरर आइडेंटिफाई किया जा रहा है तो उसमें किस जगह पे हम मार्क्स को डिडक्ट कर सकते हैं. तो ऑप्शंस आर ग्रामेटिकली, सिंटैक्टिकल, कंटेंट, spelling. So for content errors marks can be deducted. 131st question. A text that requires students to scan in order to understand and analyze the writer's message and purpose could be options: an encyclopedic extract, a newspaper headline, a set of instructions to assemble a device, a poem. The right answer is a poem. Next question. While drafting a notice, students may be instructed to use which type of language? Direct language, intrigue language, descriptive language, elaborate language. Direct language, because notice have word limit of maximum 50 words and we should be concise in preparing a notice or drafting a notice. Next question 133. For evaluating a poster designed as a part of competition, which of the following criteria would be the most appropriate for the judges? 133. Options are relevant content, style and word limit, use of quotation, style and visual appeal, creativity, relevant content and visual appeal, creativity, fonts and visual appeal. The third option is correct. Next question. Learners lack confidence to speak in the target language in class where the main language of the conversation is the local vernacular. This challenge can be made by. Question is saying learners lack confidence to speak in the target language, the language which he has to gain or study, but in his own language or local vernacular language he is comfortable. This challenge can be made by. To read the option and select the appropriate option. Allowing students to speak about whether they ever can, irrespective of the whatever they can, irrespective of the grammatical errors, enhance their vocabulary and gradually make corrections. Second options. Allowing students to watch English film as motivation, practice a drill consisting of useful sentences and vocabulary with regular correction of grammatical errors. Insisting on students using only the target language irrespective of the grammatical errors, enhance their vocabulary with the regular feedback on their performance. Instructing them to speak slowly and self-correct grammatical errors, enhance their vocabulary with a list of useful words. Right answer is first. 134 ka first. Next question 135. In order to drive home the point that listening skills matter, students should be. 135. Options: exposed to popular English films and reviewing them, taken to the language lab once a week for practice and feedback, allowed to listen to CDs of poetry read aloud by well-known voice artists, reminded that listening skill practices relate to real life. So this answer is correct. 136. Learning a new language after puberty leads to fill in the blanks of a foreign language. 136. Difficulty in acquisition, normal acquisition, greater mastery, loss of mastery. This is difficulty in acquisition. Next question. An activity that requires a class to design and present a PowerPoint on the importance of water conservation in a target language is fill in the blanks activity. So options are multidisciplinary, science project, group, language practice. This is multidisciplinary. Water related to science, and PowerPoint presentation related to English. Group, this is multidisciplinary. 138. To enable students to distinguish between academic and spoken forms of a target language in a bilingual class, they should be encouraged to speak in target language, read more books written in the target language, write more in the target language, watch more related bilingual films. Second option is suitable here. Next question. Providing learning support to the pupils who lag for behind their counterparts in school performance include options: giving more activities for language practice, providing extra notes and coaching, allowing them to complete assignments without time limits, initially adapting school curricula and teaching strategies. This is right answer. Fourth. Next question. Enriching the curriculum for learners who are gifted and talented. Give them leadership roles in class activities. Increase complexity of curriculum for them to experience a wider variety of language and opportunity of creativity. Promote them to a higher class so they are exposed to more difficult syllabus. Introduction of a foreign language. Second option is correct. Next, identify the false assumption. Options are: language course books prescribed for students should provide first detailed lesson plan for teachers, suggested sequence of teaching procedure, balanced presentation of information, organized units of learning experience. That is first is right. Next question. Students who do not have the opportunity to use the target language outside the classroom demonstrate much lower level of language competency. This can be overcome by conducting tests periodically to motivate them to learn, giving them a set of commonly used sentences and vocabulary which they are expected to use, setting separate tasks which are easier with more time to complete them, engaging them in specific language focused tasks which are indirectly monitored by their group leaders. So that is correct. 142 का चौथा fourth option is right. Next question. A foreign non-mother tongue language teacher often faces the problems of a class full of reluctant, unmotivated learners. This can be helped by using methods and strategies to motivate and make learning more challenging in the class, taking the help of an academic counselor who will address the class, identify the students who are unmotivated and taking a special class for them, encourage learners to take their own time to complete assignments. The first option is right. Next question. 144. Language learners learn to do by doing what activities support this observation? Language learners learn to do by doing. 144 option is opportunities to practice as it helps with habit information, encourage the use of their mother tongue to promote better understanding of the meaning of a prescribed text, go from concrete to abstract text. The teacher model the writing and speaking styles which learner copy. The right answer is first, opportunity to practice as it helps with habit information. Now next is paragraph which contains questions 145 to 150. The questions from 145 to 150 are based on this paragraph, so you have to study this carefully and find out the answer for the questions. Now I am reading the paragraph. Our consumption of palm oil is rocketing. Commitments from various governments to increase the amount of biofuels being sold are pushing this rise in demand because they are seen as an attractive quick fix to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. India wanted 20% of its diesel to be biodiesel by 2012. The irony is that these attempts to reduce the impact of climate change could actually make things worse. Clearing forests and draining and burning peatlands to grow palm oil, which releases more carbon emission than burning fossil fuels. But this phenomenal growth of the palm oil industry spells disaster for local communities, biodiversity, and local change as palm plantation encroaches further and further into forested areas where the emissions of greenhouse gases is largely due to deforestation. For example, much of the current and predicted oil palm expansion is taking place on forested peatlands. Peat locks up huge amounts of carbon, so clearing peatlands by draining and burning releases huge greenhouse gases. The Round Table on Sustainable Palm Oil and had established clear ethical and ecological standards for producing palm oil, but since then forest destruction has continued unabated. Now I read the question and find out the answer. The passage is about the effect of fill in the blanks on the environment. Option is destructions of peatlands, palm oil industry, drilling for diesel fuels, loss of communities. The answer is second, palm oil industry. Second question, peatlands are natural because options means to suppress carbon emission, causes of environmental destruction, sources of biofuels when burned, sources of diesel. The first answer is correct. Next question, the phrase in the passage which means speedy remedy is phenomenal growth, quick fix, current and predicted, draining and burning. Second option is correct. Next question, the synonym of the word irony is respect, reality, praise, paradox. Option paradox is correct. Next question the RSPO was convened to directly. This answer is control destructive practice in palm oil production. This is right answer. Next question, the passage suggests that RSPO's efforts to carry out its responsibility has been mostly successful, mostly a failure. No information in the passage. Partly successful, mostly a failure. तो ये था इंग्लिश का प्रैक्टिस क्विज, और नेक्स्ट हम लेकर के आएंगे इससे आगे सितंबर 2014 का प्रैक्टिस से पेपर जो प्रीवियस ईयर का है। तो अभी के लिए धन्यवाद, और कैसा आपको लगा ये क्विज आप हमें कमेंट बॉक्स में लिख करके बताएं। धन्यवाद।